Good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday, January 3rd at 5 o'clock, and you are watching or listening to The Ben Caplan Show live here on TikTok or via replay on YouTube. So thank you for joining me tonight. Man, oh man, do we have a doozy tonight, because all day I have been seeing that Nick Sirianni should be fired, but that Nick Sirianni is no longer worthy of being the Philadelphia Eagles head coach. And I got to be honest, that kind of shocked me. So that's what I want to discuss tonight, is among a few other things. But the main topic is Nick Sirianni going to be fired? Should he be fired? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Be part of the conversation. But yeah, that's wild to me, that because right off the bat, no, I do not think Nick Sirianni should be fired from his job. I think that's a knee-jerk reaction. I think it's quite extreme, and I think it invalidates all the good that he's done over the past 3 seasons. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still gotten the Eagles to the postseason every single year he's been the coach. So that's got to count for something. Just because they're on a slide right now doesn't mean he should automatically lose his job. But part of me feels like I'm in the minority with that. So, let me know in the comments if you think Nick Sirianni should be fired. I don't think he should be fired, but you may. And let me know if you do think he should be fired. Let me know. Just started. If you're just joining us, this is the Ben Caplan Show, my daily weekday show here on TikTok. I do it live every weekday, and I upload all my episodes to YouTube. So please make sure you like me and follow me here on TikTok, and you click the link in my bio and subscribe to my YouTube channel. But yeah, the main thing we're talking today is Nick Sirianni. Should he be fired? I think it's crazy I even have to ask that question, but I've been seeing it all day on TikTok. Is Nick Sirianni has lost the locker room. Everyone hates Nick Sirianni. AJ Brown doesn't want to talk to Nick Sirianni. Oh, and by the way, breaking news as about an hour and a half ago. AJ Brown is not mad at Nick Sirianni. AJ Brown insists he is not mad at Coach Nick Sirianni. He says they're all good, and that him and Brian, he's all good with Nick. He's riding with Brian Johnson. They just have to come out and play ball. So there you go. Problem solved. No one's mad at anybody. So everything's going to be peaches and cream from here on out. Well, probably not, but at least AJ Brown said he wasn't mad at Nick Sirianni. The chat's popping off, so appreciate you guys joining. If you have any comments or you want to be a part of the conversation, just hop in on the chat. Emmanuel says, like the shirt. Thank you. I really like this shirt. Fun fact, this was the shirt I was wearing in my Bumble profile, and it's my wife that said the reason she's swiped on me is because I was wearing a shirt that had her name on it in Kelly Green. So that's a fun fact. But thank you for that. Jared says, as a Cowboys fan, I don't think he should, although y'all have lost a few. It's not the end. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be fired. Adam Schefter was on the radio this morning, and he said he doesn't believe he's going to be fired. And Adam Schefter is usually a really good source about those sorts of things. Is this losing 4-5 terrible? Yeah, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I'm not letting Nick Sirianni off the hook by any stretch of the imagination. I just don't think he should lose his job. That just seems crazy to me that some people think that. Jarrett says he shouldn't be fired. Golf Guy says, I like what's going on. Now we are underdogs. Golf Guy, you are in the minority there for sure, because I know I don't like what's going on. I'm pretty sure almost every other Eagles fan does not like what's going on. Losing 4 out of 5 is never fun. Fun thing to be a part of. But I guess, hey, we are the underdogs now. Eagles thrive when they're the underdogs, but I don't know. I don't know if being the underdogs is going to be enough for this team. Kev Kelly says, fire Sirianni. Why? Why do you want him fired, Kev? You look at the big picture too, okay? This is going to be the 3rd season in a row we're going to the postseason. Yeah, I get it. We're on a slide. This sucks right now. I hate it. I don't think it should cause him to lose his job. I mean, if this were to happen again next year, then maybe that's a conversation you have. But I think that's too much of a knee-jerk reaction, just because he's pretty much going on he's losing a few games for the first time in over 2 years. Yes. Oh, thanks, Kelly. Yes, you did swipe because of my shirt. But anyway, appreciate everyone who's joining this live. This is the Ben Caplan Show. I do the show every day live here on TikTok, and then I post every episode to my YouTube channel. So please make sure you follow me here on TikTok, and you click the link in my bio, and you subscribe to my YouTube channel there. I'm trying to grow over there. It's brand new. I only have like 9 subscribers over there. So any subscribers would be greatly appreciated. And like I like to say, this right now is a small rocket ship, but we're going all the way to the moon. So you're going to want to be along for this entire journey from really small show to gigantic show. All right, let's see what else. Similar comments. All Philly teams, when we are favorites, never works. Yeah, golf guy, that is... Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it? It's been seeming that way lately. When the Philly team is favored to win, it hasn't been going that way. But, it still doesn't mean I like what's going on. Watch Rocky 2. I've seen Rocky 2. Rocky 3, to me, is the best Rocky. I know I'm in the minority with that one, but I go Rocky 3 over Rocky 4 any day of the week. Come at me. In the chat says, I think he has been exposed. Exposed how? He's not really calling the plays. What does a coach do when they don't call the plays anyway? But maybe he is being exposed. Maybe teams have figured him out. And now it's up to him to adjust. But I think so. If that's what happened, if teams have just figured Nick Sirianni out and he needs a new approach to calling games, I think from what he's done so far as his tenure as Eagles head coach, he's deserved a chance to come back next season and not reevaluate, but adjust and, have a new path going forward. Now, all this being said, just because I think Nick Sirianni shouldn't be fired, that doesn't mean I don't think there are people on this coaching staff who should not be here next season. And that's starting with the offensive coordinator, Brian Johnson, and whoever the defensive coordinator is, whether it's Sean Desai or it's Matt Patricia. I think you got to complete overhaul those coaches, and even go down the ranks and see which coaches can stay and some go, because this team has a huge, huge coaching problem, in my opinion. So you got to give Nick Sirianni the chance to rebuild the coaching staff and let him be the one that's going to, fix this situation. Now, look, if we give him a chance and next year he's the coach and he hires all these new coaches and it still doesn't work, well, then let's talk about him getting fired. But as of right now, I think it's way too soon to start calling for his head just because they've lost 4 out of 5. Jacob says, you look like Jared Goff. Thank you. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. I hope it's a good thing. He's an NFL quarterback, so I guess that's going to be a good thing. But anyway, so yeah, if there are going to be changes, there's no doubt in my mind there are going to be changes to this coaching staff. I'd be shocked if Brian Johnson was still the offensive coordinator next season. They've almost guaranteed that there's going to be a new defensive coordinator next season. I doubt it's going to be Matt Patricia, but it's not going to be Sean Desai. I doubt he's going to want to stay in a place, forever, that he got demoted anyway. But what does everyone think? Who do you think Brian Johnson and Sean Desai and Matt Patricia will be here next year? Do you think they're going to get fired? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, I don't see them. I think there's going to be a complete overhaul of this coaching staff. Now, I correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this a similar situation which kind of happened with Doug Peterson? Like, the reason he got fired is because Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, they wanted a complete overhaul of the coaching staff under him, and he didn't really want to budge on the coaches. So we might be in a similar situation with Nick Sirianni this offseason. I feel like Nick Sirianni will be a little more flexible than Doug Peterson, but I don't know. Favor the pitch perfect guy? You think I look like 49 Razorback says I look like the pitch perfect guy. I've actually gotten that one before, so appreciate that. So I think that is a good thing, so thank you. Although he was kind of goofy. But anyway, there's going to be new coaches next season. There are every year, no matter what happens in the NFL, whether you win or lose. The coaching ranks are a carousel in the NFL, but the Eagles have to take a long, hard look at who they need to be the offensive and defensive coordinators going forward next season, because what they got right now clearly is not working. Yeah, Philly Mike says they'll keep Nick and get new defensive and offensive coordinators. You'd have to think so. You'd have to think they're going to do that. It's the only way I think Nick Sirianni is going to keep his job at this point. The way people are talking, the way people have been talking today, it's that Nick Sirianni is hanging on by a thread as the coach. And it just goes to show you how day to day or week to week the NFL is. Because a few weeks ago, Nick Sirianni was still one of the best coaches in the NFL. Chev says, one bad season and you want to fire him. Wow, cancel culture is weak. Yeah, Chev, I don't think this has anything to do with cancel culture. I just think it's life in the NFL. It's so week to week. 1 week you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Next week you are just garbage and nobody wants you and you'll never work in the league again. That's just how it goes. It's always been like that ever since I've been watching football, which has been a really long time now because I am old. KV says, yeah, he was coach of the year a month ago. Exactly. That's my point. That's why I think people saying they want him fired, it's a real knee-jerk reaction. Like you're upset. Like I get how mad you are at the situation right now. Trust me, I'm very upset too. But just trying to fire Nick Sirianni, that seems a bit much. That seems a bit aggressive for right now. I think he's at least earned another crack at putting a roster together, putting a coaching staff together for next season. Now, this is the NFL. Crazier things have happened, but it's kind of hard to justify firing a guy also who's made the playoffs every single season he's been the coach, including a run to the Super Bowl. So yeah, here, what are people saying? That is not NFL, only bad teams. That is Carolina, Indianapolis type teams. What do you mean, that they cycle through coaches, Chev? Is that what you're trying to say? That you think those teams cycle through a lot of head coaches? Because yeah, they do, and that's kind of what you fear the Eagles becoming too. I have a deep fear of the Eagles being one of those teams that's firing their coach every single season. You don't want to be one of those teams. That's no good. You want some stability at the head coaching position. But this again, I don't think I should be. I say it. I was shocked when I heard the talk of fire Nick Sirianni this morning, but I guess I shouldn't be too surprised by that type of talk because. Just go back to the Andy Reid era. Look at the years they were winning. They were going 12-4 every year. They went 13-3 one year, or they're winning the NFC East every year. Every single loss, somebody wanted Andy Reid's head on a platter. So I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that it's now happening to Nick Sirianni. So maybe we should just all calm down. We're upset. I'm upset too, but let's take a step back. It's crazy that I'm the one that's saying this because I'm the most irrational person when it comes to the Eagles. I'm just angry and upset all the time, but I'm not ready to call for Sirianni's head quite yet. KV asks, what is Nick Sirianni's overall record? Let's check. I'm using this website. I love this website called StatMuse. If you're ever looking to look up any stat, go to StatMuse. It is the best website out there. I'm obsessed with it. I'm hoping they're going to pay me to say this one day, but it is incredible. Let's go. Nick Sirianni career record. Can't answer. Nick Sirianni win-loss record. All right. Well, honestly, I guess this is really bad advertising because the one time I use StatMuse for everybody in front of everyone, it doesn't work and give me the stats I want. But let's see. We can figure this out. Eagle record last 3 seasons, right? He's been the coach the last 3 seasons. They're 34-16. So close, KV. You said 34-15. 34-16. Nick Sirianni is as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. So pretty good. So let's calm down, everybody. Nick Sirianni doesn't need to be fired quite yet. I think that's ridiculous to say. Really, it is. I think that's a ridiculous proposition people are making. That Nick Sirianni's lost 4 or 5. He can't coach anymore. He's terrible. Let's get him out of here. Come on, people, relax. Let's calm down. I know we have high expectations. And we're right to be angry. The Eagles should not be in the situation they're in right now. And Nick Sirianni's the head coach, so he gets the blame. But let's give him a chance. Let's not let's give him a shot. Okay, let's relax. I don't know how I'm having difficulty, getting the exact words out. But Chev says, I'm a Cowboys fan. And I think he's a good coach. Yeah, I think he's a good coach too. Now, we'll see how I feel about that at the end when this season's completely over and we give him one more season. But I don't think there's any need to fire Nick Sirianni quite yet. That being said, offensive and defensive coordinators, yeah, there's got to be a change there. And to me, I don't see how you're able to come back if you're the Eagles. How you're able to come back next season with Brian Johnson as the offensive coordinator, or Matt Patricia or Sean Desai as the defensive coordinator. This fan base, this entire area, and I'm sure the team has lost all trust in those guys. So, let's expect to see new coaches on the staff, but let's Nick Sirianni's not going anywhere. Chris says, he said 1 bad month in the last 2 years. I think it's an absurd idea for him to be fired. Chris, I agree. I can agree 100%. Like, right, he's had 1 bad month in the last 2 seasons. Let's take a deep breath. There's no need to call for his head. I think that's just a knee-jerk Philadelphian, Negadelphian reaction. And like I was saying earlier, it makes sense. This was like, even when Andy Reid was the coach, every time he lost, people wanted him fired. Every time there was a losing streak, people wanted him out of here. Eventually, after a few years of losing, he was fired, but Andy Reid earned that goodwill. Not saying Nick Sirianni has earned as much goodwill as let me say that over. I'm not saying that Nick Sirianni has earned as much goodwill yet as Andy Reid has, but he has earned some. And right, 1 bad month, it does not mean he should be fired. 1 bad month does not mean he doesn't get a chance to do it again next season. So that's what I'm saying. Chev says, good coaches take 3 to 4 years. Average coaches 5 to 6 years. Yeah, maybe. Eagles fans not being very loyal, kind of lose. Oh, stop it, John. That's no. It's the NFL. This is life in the NFL too. I don't think this is like unique to Philadelphia. When your coach starts losing, when the team starts losing, especially after starting off very, very well in the regular season, people start calling for their heads. People want them fired. People want new people out the door. What's the saying? The most popular player on the team is the backup quarterback. When the team is losing. Everybody always wants somebody new in there. New doesn't always mean better. And I think, especially when your current head coach has earned the opportunity to get himself out of this tailspin that the Eagles have been in. I'm not saying he's going to do it. I really don't have faith that they're going to be able to do it this year and figure this thing out. But that doesn't mean I don't think he has a chance to regroup, reassess, evaluate, and put a new plan for next year together. I think he's absolutely earned that chance. Chat says, we have high expectations with this team is where a lot of this is coming from now. Yeah, I agree, Chris. We had extremely high expectations for this team. I mean, if you think about it, like, there was really only one way this Eagles season could be better than last year's, and that would be winning the Super Bowl. So already we're off to incredibly high expectations. And, this team is not living up to the hype. I think that part of the problem is we really over-evaluated some of the talent that was coming back from last year, and the coaching has been a mess. The offensive play calling has been atrocious all season. The defense just seems to get worse and worse week over week. So there's a lot of issues for why this team is in the situation it is. But the reason we're also angry about it is this year, which, we'd be angry about losing games any year, but especially this year, is because of those expectations, because we thought we could get another Super Bowl run right away, which also, by the way, incredibly hard to do. When you lose the Super Bowl, I think it's only happened 8 times in the history of the NFL that the losing team from the Super Bowl going back to the Super Bowl the following year. That's only 14% of the time. So the odds were really against the Eagles. But hey, we still deserve to be angry. Don't get me wrong. Let's see. Chat says you lost 2 major defensive players going to the year. The defense is going to drop. Yeah, we lost a few defensive players. We lost a defensive coordinator. The Eagles lost the offensive coordinator. There was a lot of change. There's been a lot of injuries this season. Avonte Maddox just came back, but that really didn't make a difference. Darius Slay is still out. The linebacker, I feel like there's been 2 new starting linebackers every single week for the last 8 weeks. It's just, and now it's all coming to a head, and there doesn't seem to be any way to get out of this tailspin. And it's, as an Eagles fan, it is very, very frustrating. Excuse me 1 second. It says Kelsey is a free agent 2024. The next chat from JT151515. Kelsey probably retires. Who knows? He might come back. We can't really worry about that. Um, okay, we can't really worry about that um, until the Eagles are eliminated from the playoffs. All we can focus on right now is somehow playing the New York Giants, and then whoever the Eagles play in the playoffs. If you're just joining me, this is the Ben Caplan Show, my brand new Philly sports talk show. I do the show weekdays here on TikTok, and then I upload all my episodes to my YouTube channel. So please make sure you like the videos here, you follow me here on TikTok, and you click that link in my bio and subscribe to my YouTube channel, so you can stay up to date on all my episodes and all my videos. Talking about, really, the main topic is Nick Sirianni. I've been seeing on TikTok all day today that he should be fired. And I think that's crazy. I don't agree with that sentiment at all. Like, I get that people are mad. I get that people are upset with the coaching staff right now and the debacle of the season right now. But I think him being fired is a bit extreme. So a few other things we could touch on too, because it's not just all Nick Sirianni. I feel like, what I said was I don't expect Nick Sirianni to lose his job. I think it's crazy for him to be gone after this. However, the Eagles are going to need to make a change at offensive and defensive coordinator, because Brian Johnson and Sean Desai / Matt Patricia, they ain't cutting it. They are not getting the job done. And I don't see how you would expect to win a Super Bowl or compete for a Super Bowl if these guys are still your offensive and defensive coordinators. It's not gonna happen. And I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. And so, expect to see a change after this season. JT says, I disagree. Should not fire Nick. Give him one more year. Yeah, no, I agree. Nick Sirianni should not be losing his job after this year because he's had one bad month. No, he's definitely earned the right to fix this thing for next season and going forward. So people who are saying fire him is ridiculous. Yeah. But hey, I mean, some people think he should be fired. I think it's crazy. It's wild, right? I don't think. Yeah. Anyway, but it's more than just Nick Sirianni and the coaching. I heard a lot of, everyone's down on Jalen Hurts this year as well. Hold on. How many coaches will get fired? 8? KV, I don't know. It's usually always 6, somewhere to 6 to 10 coaches get fired at the end of each year. Nick Sirianni won't be one of them. Dave says, I also think Hurts is trying to do too much. Yeah, Hurts has been playing injured. JT said that. Hurts always tries. It seemed lately like he's been trying to always make that home run pass. Like he's always looking for the deep ball. Like he's always trying to force something in there that shouldn't be there. He's been part of the problem. Like, a lot of people are down on Jalen Hurts. Is he really the guy? Should the Eagles have given Jalen Hurts that gigantic contract? Let me try that again. Appreciate everyone. Oh, thank you for the follow, Dave. If you haven't done so like Dave yet, please make sure you follow me here on TikTok, and you can click the link in my bio to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to my YouTube channel there. I think I only have 9 subscribers there right now, so I'm really trying to grow that thing out. So I'd really appreciate anybody hopping over and subscribing to that channel there. But anyway, where was I? Yes. Lots of people seem to be really down on Jalen Hurts right now, saying things like, is he the guy? Was that contract too much? Can we really expect him to lead this team to another Super Bowl? Was last year a fluke? I don't think last year's a fluke. I think there's definitely some concern because just looking at the eye test, it looks like Jalen Hurts has certainly regressed from where he was last season. But I don't think it's insurmountable. I don't think he can bounce back and can't have a better year next year. I think he's more than capable of coming back and having a good season. And really, I don't think his season is as bad as we all think it is. Like his stats his last season. He had Jalen Hurts had a passer rating of 101.5. He threw for 3,701 yards. He had 22 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Okay, not bad, right? He had a completion percentage of 66.5%. This year, he's got a lower passer rating. Oh, let me actually show this. This year, he's got a lower passer rating of 91, but he's thrown for more yards, 3,803, more touchdowns, 23 to 22. He definitely has more interceptions. He has more than double the interceptions, which is that's what's freaking everybody out. That's what's freaking me out, at least. But his completion percentage is down a little bit to 66.1%. So it's not like if you look at his numbers, it's not like he's having this, gigantic drop off in what he was doing last season. The biggest concern, obviously, is the turnovers. And really, if he can fix those turnovers, then he's already looking a lot better. He's already helping this team a lot more. So I don't think this is anything he can't overcome. So I think, again, Jalen Hurts is part of the problem. He has been turnover city, don't get me wrong, but he can fix these issues. It's fixable. It's not something that he's just a turnover guy from now on. You're able to come back from that. Here we go. We got in the comments. Francis says, "Good day, Ben." Good day, Francis. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, everyone who has joined me in this live so far. Triple Risky says, I like that name, Hurts either isn't reading the defense or hasn't given the schemes where he feels comfortable reading defenses. Yeah, I agree. Maybe defenses are doing a better job of hiding what they're doing. Maybe he's not reading the defenses as well. Maybe the play calling is just really bad. Maybe, when he gets run 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a game and he's throwing nothing but screen passes, things can get a little frustrating. At least they're frustrating watching. I don't know how you all feel, but I'm frustrated watching this Eagles team. Question, is Brian Johnson putting him in bad spots, tight windows? I wouldn't be able to tell. Yes, I think Brian Johnson is putting him in bad spots and in tight windows. And he's by just predictable play calling, by running QB sneak after QB sneak, by throwing nothing but wide receiver screens. It's hard to get into a rhythm when you're getting beat up from being tackled all the time from running the ball. It's hard to get in a rhythm when you can only throw a wide receiver screen and it's getting 3-4 yards at most. And a lot of times what's happening is now the Eagles they're getting tackled for losses. Jalen Hurts is getting sacked. He has to slide behind the line and it's putting him behind the sticks and it's hurting them for second down and it's hurting them for third down. It's crazy because as I've been saying since the Eagles lost to the Cardinals, like the Eagles have 2 1,000+ yard wide receivers. They have a 1,000+ yard running back. They have a top 10 tight end, and yet they're running screen passes to Kenny Gainwell. That's not Jalen Hurts' fault. That's Brian Johnson's fault. I would really like to know if Nick Sirianni has ever questioned Brian Johnson directly about all these wide receiver screens, or if I ever get a press pass, a media pass, and can go to a post-game press conference, I'm going to ask Nick Sirianni that question directly because I don't get it. It's like he's like this guy. He's like a guy in Madden who only knows 4 or 5 plays on the entire game. They just run the same plays over and over and over again. And typically those guys don't win. Well, Brian Johnson is proving that in the NFL. If you run the same 4 or 5 plays over and over again, typically you're not going to win. And I think what is happening is he is becoming so predictable that when the Eagles need to get a first down or a touchdown late in the game to either extend the lead, put the game away, take the lead, whatever it is, he's become so predictable with his play calling, they can't get the first down. They can't score the touchdown because the defense already knows what is about to come. And he's refused to evolve. He's refused to change, and there's no way the Eagles can have him back as the offensive coordinator for next season. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Dave says, Johnson's the problem, which in turn is Sirianni's problem technically. Dave, you're not wrong. Johnson is the problem, and Nick Sirianni is his boss, so that makes it a Nick Sirianni problem. But what I'm saying is Nick Sirianni deserves a chance to put another offensive coordinator, another play caller in that position. Brian Johnson needs to go. But I think Nick Sirianni has earned the chance for at least one more year. I think we're all being a little bratty. The Eagles have made the playoffs 3 years in a row under Nick Sirianni. So I think we're all getting, we'll be getting a little bratty by saying, by just making the playoffs isn't enough, which, I'm certainly guilty of that myself. But, let's calm down with firing him. Oh, Dave, yes, I totally agree. Thank you, Dave. Man, oh man. comment says, if you fire Nick after this year, it'll either be desperation or a lost locker room. You know, some people say Nick's already lost the locker room. I don't know. I feel like what I've been reading from the players, I don't think he's lost the locker room. I think everyone's frustrated. I think everyone's upset. I think people are trying to figure out what's happening. But you know, if he has lost the locker room, I guess that's a reason to fire somebody. But I don't think they're there quite yet. I don't think so. And good news, if you haven't heard, breaking news, by the way, Nick Sirianni hasn't lost AJ Brown. It's been reported that AJ Brown and Nick Sirianni are all good. So there you go. Problem solved. Eagles should be fine and dandy against the New York Giants because AJ Brown, Nick Sirianni are all good. I mean, okay, great. All right, cool. I mean, so what? So what? Are they going to play better? Is Brian Johnson going to call better plays? You know, it's going to be real interesting too, this Giants game, because the last 4 weeks, I feel like I've been saying that, you know, this feels like a game the Eagles could lose. You know, the last game of the season against a division rival, I did not think the Eagles were going to lose last week. No chance in hell I thought they were going to lose. But this one, I always thought they were. And especially so now after losing to the Cardinals, I am even less confident that the Eagles can win this game. And it's going to be real interesting because the brilliant Brian Johnson threw a screen pass to Kenny Gainwell on 3rd and 20, Devontae Smith rolled his ankle and got hurt and has been walking around in a boot with crutches since that game. Now, the Eagles are saying it's a mild ankle sprain, but I'd be shocked if Devontae Smith would play in this game against the New York Giants, because really this game, you can't say it doesn't matter, but this Eagles game almost doesn't matter. Like if the Cowboys win their game, it doesn't matter what the Eagles do. And really, you want Devontae Smith healthy for the first round of the playoffs, which is most likely going to be at Tampa. And I don't think you want him playing on the turf at MetLife Stadium. Time and time again, or year after year, MetLife Stadium gets voted the worst stadium to play in the entire NFL. And a lot of it has to do with how bad the turf is and how many injuries that turf costs. So I don't think it's really a smart idea even for Devontae Smith to play in this game, which is just going to hurt the Eagles because now you're down to A.J. Brown, and only A.J. Brown, so it makes it a lot easier to double team him when Devontae Smith's not in the lineup. So, you know, things are just going so great for the Eagles right now. But I wouldn't want Devontae Smith playing in this game, honestly. That was that was the point I was trying to make, because you don't want him to further injure himself on the terrible AstroTurf, or whatever the turf is called, at MetLife Stadium. But what do you all think? Do you want Devontae Smith to play in the game this coming week? I really don't. I really don't. Okay. Francis O'Brien, will they play the starters? Does it matter if we win? So, Francis, yeah, they are going to play the starters because the Cowboys and the Eagles game starts at the same exact time. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible for the Cowboys to lose the last game of the season against the Commanders. I think it's very unlikely, though. The Cowboys are a much better football team than the Commanders, and if they win the division. So they're going to be fired up and playing on all cylinders. But that being said, you still got to play your starters. You still got to try to win the game because if the Cowboys somehow do lose, you can still sneak into the first place and win the division. I don't think that is likely, but it could happen. So you have to act like that could happen, and that's what the Eagles are going to do. But yeah, because even if the Eagles lose, though, they're locked into that 5th spot. So they're going to play the winner of the NFC South, which looks like it'll probably be Tampa. They got Carolina coming up this week. So but if they lose and the Saints win, then the Saints will win the division. So it could be them. I would rather Tampa. Just because the Saints to me are one of those teams that the Eagles always have problems with, just always. So I'm just scared of playing the Saints for that reason and that reason alone. But hey, there's a lot that could happen the last week of the regular season in the NFL. Oh my. Thank you for joining me. Thank you everyone who has hopped on to the Ben Caplan Show. This is my weekday talk show about Philly sports. It's brand new. I'm a little rocket ship right now, but we're going all the way to the moon. So I appreciate you coming along for the journey. You can catch me here daily live on TikTok, and I upload all my episodes to YouTube afterwards. So please make sure you follow me here, and you click the link in my bio, and you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you stay up to date on all my episodes and all my content. I just started the YouTube channel. It is very, very small. I'm hoping to get like to 10 followers today. If I could get to 10 followers today, I would be ecstatic. So any follows there would be greatly appreciated. Sorry, don't mean to beg. Let's get back to the Eagles. So first, we were talking about Nick Sirianni. Lots of people want him fired. All over TikTok today, people are talking about how Nick Sirianni should lose his job and how he's done and how he can't coach and how he's finished, which is crazy because a few weeks ago, Nick Sirianni was one of the best coaches in the NFL. So to me, that just shows you how week to week and how day to day the NFL is, and how one day you're the greatest thing in the world and how the next day you are just trash and nobody wants you and, you're scum of the earth. That's just how it is in the NFL. But I think it's too much of a knee-jerk reaction because Nick Sirianni's had one bad month. Yeah, it's been really bad. Losing 4 out of 5 is never good. I don't care who you are, what year it is, what team you're on. You never want to lose 4 out of 5. So that being said, this is going to be the third year in a row he's led the Eagles to the playoffs in his tenure. So that to me alone has earned him the shot to come back for another chance to regroup for next season. I think you're being a little ridiculous if you think otherwise. But hey, let me know what you think. Come along, have some fun in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about Nick Sirianni. Should he be fired? And also we're talking a little bit about Jalen Hurts. Look, the eye test just looks like he's regressed, right? It looks like he's gone from MVP candidate to like middle of the pack quarterback, which is fair because he definitely hasn't been playing as well as he has in the past. But that being said, it's not like this gigantic drop off. I was comparing Jalen Hurts stats from last season to this season, and they're not all that different. Like last season, Jalen Hurts, he had a passer rating of 101.5 with 3,701 passing yards, 22 touchdown passes to 6 interceptions. This season, the passer rating is down to 91, but he's got more passing yards. He's got 3,803 passing yards. He's got more touchdowns, 23. He has way more interceptions, 14. I think that's where the drop off is because his turnovers are way up. And similar to rushing touchdowns, like if you look at this year, yeah, he has 15 rushing touchdowns, but he had 13 last year also. So that is up. But I'm going through these stats and I'm saying to myself, man, going forward, if Jalen Hurts just plays at the same level, but can cut down the turnovers, cut them in half, we're good again. Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate again. So I don't think all is lost. He certainly needs to play better. He certainly needs to step it up, but I don't think he's the biggest problem right now. I think he seems like the type of guy that's going to notice that knows, hey, my turnovers are up. I got to do something about that. So I hope he does something about that, and we'll see. We will see when he comes back next year to play quarterback under Nick Sirianni. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh man. So and then we've been talking about Devontae Smith. Is he even going to play? Because remember, again, going back to Brian Johnson's brilliant play calling, throwing a wide receiver screen on 3rd and 20 to not A.J. Brown, not Devontae Smith, not Dallas Goedert, not even DeAndre Swift. No, Kenny Gainwell. He had Devontae Smith blocking for Kenny Gainwell. Devontae Smith gets hurt, rolls his ankle. So Eagles say it's a mild sprain. So who knows what that means exactly, but I kind of would be shocked if he played in the last regular season game against the Giants. And honestly, I don't even know if I'd want him to play in that game because you need him for that most likely game against Tampa. And you just hear time after time, story after story of NFL players telling how terrible it is to play on the turf at MetLife Field. That stadium continually gets voted worst stadium in the NFL by players every single year. And a big reason for that is because of the turf. So, the last thing you want to happen is Devontae Smith going out for a pass and hurting his ankle even more, or possibly hurting his other ankle. Just keep him off the field. You're kind of locked into that 5th playoff spot anyway. you have to think the Cowboys are going to take care of business. I don't know if playing Devontae Smith, even if he's healthy, is worth the risk this week for the Eagles. But hey, you tell me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Oh, man. And it's only Thursday. Oh, geez. No, it's Wednesday. Sorry. Whew. Appreciate everyone who's joining me here on this Wednesday evening. It's January 3rd. Welcome to the Ben Caplan Show. Oh, thanks, Kelly from Philly. I got a hot dog. Much appreciated. Much obliged. Anyone else wants to send me gifts or, follow me here or whatever? Hey, I'd greatly appreciate it. Anyway, so I guess the question is then, who would you rather play, the Buccaneers or the Saints? I feel like Tampa, and that I'm basing that only on because I feel like the Eagles always have problems with the Saints. The Eagles already beat the Bucs, which is good. It was honestly probably their best win of the year was the win against Tampa Bay, but so Tampa's seen them already. So that is that a weakness? Is that a bad thing that Tampa's already played them? That even though the Eagles won, I don't know. Does it matter? Does it matter? Are the Eagles good enough to go anywhere on the road and win a playoff game? I don't care if it's Tampa. I don't care if it's New Orleans, Detroit. I definitely don't think they're good enough to go to either Dallas or San Francisco and win a playoff game. The only chance the Eagles had of ever beating Dallas in the playoffs this season was a home game at the Link, and the Eagles blew that opportunity. So that's not going to be happening. If the Eagles have to go to Dallas for a playoff game, I think it could be another bloodbath. It could be pretty brutal. The Eagles actually, in my lifetime, played the Cowboys once, actually twice, in Dallas. They've played the Eagles. The Eagles have played the Cowboys in the playoffs. Both times, Eagles have gotten smoked. The first time was, I think, it was the Cowboys' last Super Bowl run, the 95 season, so it was January 96. Eagles got blown out of the place. And then it was the 2009 season, McNabb's last season as quarterback. The Eagles played at Dallas in the wild card round, and again, got absolutely smoked. I think the same thing would happen if the Eagles have to go to AT&T Stadium and play the Cowboys. I don't like saying that. It gives me no joy to say that I think the Eagles are going to get beat if they have to play the Cowboys ever on the road in the playoffs. But, I'm getting way ahead of myself because that might not even happen. I would be shocked, I think, if the Eagles did win a road playoff game. I know they beat Tampa already in Tampa, but just the way the Eagles are playing, they don't seem to have anything together. They cannot put a complete game together at all. So it's not crazy to say I'd be shocked if the Eagles were to win a game in Tampa on the road or in the Superdome if they played New Orleans. The Eagles have shown us nothing that says they could win a road playoff game. I haven't seen it. If you've seen it, let me know, but I certainly have not seen it at all. Isn't it fun being a Philly sports fan? Isn't it fun trying to start a Philly sports talk show, especially when the Eagles are playing as good when they are right now? Oh man, it's just been such a joy. I thought it was going to be fun, get to talk sports every day, interact with other Philly sports fans. In the very early run of my show, it hasn't been as pleasant as I would hope. Not because of anybody in the comments, or who's watched. I love you all, but because the Eagles have just been utterly, utterly disappointing. There's no other way to put it. My goodness gracious. All right. Well, actually, that is just about to wrap it up for me. So I really appreciate everyone who hopped in and commented on the show tonight. You're just hopping in late. I'm sorry you're getting the tail end of this, but you can catch me every weekday here on TikTok. I do the show live, and then I upload all the episodes to YouTube. So please make sure you follow me here on TikTok and you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just click that link in my bio. I'll be back at it tomorrow. We're going to be talking more Eagles. I'm going to try to talk some Flyers and Sixers because they're like two positive things that are happening right now in the city. And you can only talk so much Eagles and be angry about it. I mean, we can talk a lot of Eagles and be angry, but I'm going to try to mix it up a little bit. But if you have any questions, until then, leave a comment, shoot me an email to the BenCaplanShow@gmail.com. Other than that, I will see you tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.